Sir, you said something very nice recently, and I found it very beautiful. You said that peace is a political belief, and I have never heard it said like that. So, could you speak to that, please?
Thank you very much. I do believe that what I did say should be first of all implied to democracies, because democracies are the ones who know the importance of peace, and they know how to operate, or otherwise they don't know how to operate in other circumstances, and that's why this is also very difficult for small and medium democracies to operate today. And when we say is a political belief, this is a political belief for several reasons and for several dimensions. It comes to social issues, to cultural issues, to economic issues, which are very important as well. But given the fact that what I told was in a different context, I would like to add to this, saying that peace is not only a political belief, but sometimes and nowadays it's also a political courage. And to have a political courage to promote for peace, especially, it requires a strong democratic system, because nowadays, let's be frank, peace is not popular, because there are big actors who are not the ones who are promoting the peace, but challenging it every day and trying to make us think that democracy is a threat for peace. And being a one to promote peace, you need to have a very difficult dialogue, not only with your international partners, but also within your society. And this is what Armenia preaches, and this is what we are trying to do. And probably many of you were at the opening ceremony yesterday, seeing how Prime Minister of Armenia gave a brilliant example showing the political courage that Armenia has to establish peace and stability in our region. So just to add that on if democracy is a public good, it is. And why it is important to have a constant funding for democracy, because the criteria, what is democracy and what is not, are always changing, and it's like an infinity. You are not able to catch up, and you need to have a constant reform process, which means it requires big fundings to do it. But besides democracy being public good domestically, but some, internationally as well, democracy is also concern for the others. And some people, some authoritarian regimes consider it to be a threat, which means we should fund, because they don't want their own people to dare that they can live in the same freedom as the people in democracies. And combining this two brings to the idea that we should fund the democracies not only because of a public good, but also to protect the democracies, because it's also quite costly to protect the democracies.
When you said it's difficult to catch up in the public good, catch up and with
what? One of the criteria for democracy is probably the center of a democracy is a person, an individual. And when a person is living in a freedom, which means he is free to think, and free to dare, and free to dream, which means that the horizon is getting bigger and bigger, and the ambition of development and the scale of the development is becoming bigger and bigger, which puts additional pressure on the governments to work more and more and to invest more on reforms. Thank you. Probably I will share the opinion that why small and medium democracies should cooperate, because they are the #1 beneficiaries of the international law to be properly operating and working. And coming to the comment that was made by Ambassador he said very interesting thing that some countries abstained on a critical issue of Ukraine. But here is a question: what is the critical issue? Is it critical because it is Ukraine, or is it critical because the international law was violated? And unfortunately, we see that in, let's say, smaller cases, nobody is talking about that, the international law is violated, UN Security Council is failing to address the issue. So here is another reason why the small and medium democracies should think about the future, the common future that we have. Unfortunately, hearing also the discussion that I'm part of now, and I'm sharing the guilt as well, I have a fear that we will not be able to unite.
Why?
Because we are talking, but we are not listening to each other, and sometimes even we are forgetting to self-reflect on the issues that we have on our cooperation, and we are talking about the third countries, the authoritarian regimes, and we are losing too much time and wasting too much time on thinking about the others rather than concentrating on the issue how we should work together.
Talking without listening. This is what Simon and Garfunkel sang.
Yes.